It was a peaceful morning on Earth when everything changed. The sky, which had always been a bright blue, suddenly darkened. Massive alien ships appeared, filling the horizon. They came from a distant corner of the galaxy, their sleek ships casting long shadows over the land. The Xerx, a powerful and technologically advanced alien race, had arrived. They weren't here to negotiate, they came for Earth's resources, and they were ready to conquer. No1 expected them to be so strong. Within hours of their arrival, the Xerx wiped out Earth's defenses with ease. Satellites, communication networks, and military bases were destroyed in a flash. Earth's military, once proud and powerful, was no match for the alien invaders. The Xerx were ruthless. Their ships fired beams of energy that flattened cities, and their soldiers, towering and armored, marched through the streets, taking control without hesitation. Cities fell one by one. Humanity's once proud civilization was crumbling under the weight of an invasion they were powerless to stop. People ran through the streets, panic written on every face. Governments tried to organize a response, but it was futile. The Xerx were too strong, too advanced. As the alien soldiers flooded the planet, humanity's hopes for survival seemed to vanish. Earth, the cradle of human civilization, was no longer free. The Xerx didn't care for diplomacy or peace, they only wanted resources, and they would do whatever it took to get them. Humans were nothing more than obstacles to be removed. The Xerx enslaved the remaining population. People were rounded up in camps, their homes destroyed, their futures uncertain. The sky that had once been a symbol of freedom now felt like a cage. The sun no longer brought warmth, it only reminded the people of what they had lost. The Xerx had calculated everything. They believed humans were weak, too fragile to resist. They thought humans would crumble under their heel, and for the most part, they were right. But there was something the Xerx didn't know. In the midst of all this chaos, in a small, forgotten corner of the world, something remarkable was about to happen. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, Dr. Emily Carter, a brilliant scientist, was working in a lab when a tremor shook the ground. It wasn't a natural earthquake, but a force that seemed to come from far below. She followed the tremor and discovered a hidden passage in the cave systems. What she found underground was nothing short of astonishing, an ancient artifact glowing faintly with energy. It was older than anything human civilization had ever known. It hummed with power, as if it were alive. Dr. Carter felt a shiver run down her spine as she reached out and touched the artifact. She had no idea what it was, but she could feel its power. It was as though it had been waiting for someone to find it. Could this strange relic hold the key to humanity's survival? Could it unlock some hidden potential within humans that the Xerx had never considered? Her mind raced with possibilities. The Xerx had underestimated humanity. They thought humans were weak, that they couldn't fight back. But Dr. Carter believed that Earth held a hidden strength, a power waiting to be awakened. She quickly gathered a small group of scientists and military leaders. They would study the artifact and try to understand its true purpose. If it was what she thought it was, this could be humanity's only chance to push back against the invaders. Meanwhile, the Xerx grew stronger. Their grip on Earth tightened with each passing day. The resistance was weak, scattered, and outmatched. Dr. Carter and her team had no time to waste. They knew that the artifact could be the key, but they also knew they had to be careful. What if they were wrong? What if the artifact was a weapon meant to destroy them? They didn't have the luxury of time, but they couldn't risk making a mistake. Earth's future was in their hands. The Xerx tightened their hold on the planet. Dr. Carter prepared for the most dangerous experiment of her life. The artifact was unlike anything they had ever seen before. She wasn't sure if it would unlock power within humanity or bring about their doom. But there was no turning back now. The world was on the brink, and Dr. Carter was determined to try. The experiment would begin at sunrise. She felt the weight of the moment, knowing that if this didn't work, humanity's last hope would be gone. The Xerx had crushed armies, toppled governments, and enslaved the people of Earth. But they had not reckoned with the human spirit, and they had not reckoned with the power buried beneath the planet's surface. The artifact began to glow brighter. Dr. Carter's team watched in silence as she prepared to activate it. If it worked, it could change everything. If it didn't, Earth might never stand a chance again. And as the first rays of sunlight hit the Earth's surface, something inside the artifact began to stir. Dr. Carter's fingers hovered over the artifact's surface. Would it be their salvation, or would it lead them down a path of destruction? She took a deep breath and pressed the button. The future of Earth and all of humanity was about to change. Dr. Emily Carter sat in the dimly lit lab, her fingers trembling as she examined the artifact. It wasn't just a relic, as she had initially thought. No, it was something far more important. The ancient object was a key to unlocking a power hidden deep within humanity's very DNA. When Dr. Carter first touched the artifact, she had felt a strange electric pulse run through her body. It was as if the artifact recognized her presence, as if it had been waiting for this moment for centuries. The more she studied it, the more she realized that it wasn't just some forgotten alien object, it was a catalyst for something incredible. The artifact had the ability to unlock dormant abilities in humans, abilities that no one had ever imagined. Super strength, speed, telepathy, a connection to the Earth's natural energy. These weren't just myths or science fiction, they were real, and they were now within reach. The Xerex had underestimated humanity, believing them to be weak and primitive. They thought Earth's people would fold under the pressure, that they could be enslaved without resistance. But the Xerex were wrong. They had no idea what humans were capable of when pushed to the brink. Dr. Carter quickly gathered a team of scientists, military leaders, and engineers to help harness this new power. Together, they worked around the clock, testing the artifact and developing ways to safely unlock these abilities. The process was slow at first, but soon the results were undeniable. Ordinary people, soldiers, civilians, scientists began to tap into their hidden potential. It started with small demonstrations. A soldier, once weak and tired after a long fight, now could lift entire vehicles with ease. Another human, previously unable to even sprint without tiring, could now run faster than a speeding car. The first signs of telepathy were shocking humans communicating without words, sensing each other's thought. With each passing day, the new abilities grew stronger, and soon, Dr. Carter realized that humanity's entire future had changed. The first victories came quickly. It began in small, scattered moments. A group of human rebels, using their newfound strength, managed to take down a few Xerex patrols. Another team infiltrated an alien weapons facility, using their speed to outmaneuver Xerex soldiers and destroy crucial weapons. It wasn't much, but it was enough to spark hope across the world. People who had once been slaves were now standing up, fighting back with power they never dreamed they could possess. The Xerex, shocked by the unexpected turn of events, began to realize they were facing a force they had never encountered before. The humans were no longer helpless. They were fighting back with ingenuity and power. For the first time since the invasion began, the Xerex were no longer in control. Commander XR, the ruthless leader of the Xerex, sat in his command center, watching the reports of humanity's growing resistance. He had believed Earth would be easy to conquer. Their technology was primitive, their armies weak. The Xerex could destroy entire planets with ease, so how could a small, insignificant species like humanity have turned the tide so quickly? Zar growled in frustration as he watched the footage of human victories. Small victories, yes, but victories nonetheless. The humans were learning. They were adapting, and they were getting stronger. They've tapped into something, Zar muttered to his officers, something we don't understand. But we will fix this. We will crush them once and for all. He turned to his military commanders, his expression cold and calculating. Prepare a counterattack. It's time to show these humans that no matter what power they've unlocked, they are no match for the Xerex. But Zar didn't know what he was about to face. The humans weren't the same anymore. They had found strength they didn't know they had, and they had discovered that they were capable of far more than the Xerex had ever imagined. The counterattack would be brutal, but the humans were ready. They had learned to fight back, and they would not stop until Earth was free. Meanwhile, across the world, the growing resistance groups were organizing. From the jungles of South America to the deserts of Africa, From the mountains of Asia to the cities of Europe, humans were joining the fight. United in their desire for freedom, they began coordinating attacks, using their new abilities to launch surprise strikes against the alien invaders. It was clear humanity was no longer afraid. Dr. Carter watched from her lab as the reports of human victories came in. She felt a surge of hope, but she knew the battle was far from over. The Xerx were powerful, and Commander Sar would stop at nothing to finish what he had started. The humans had only just begun to tap into their potential. The Xerx had underestimated humanity once, but they would not make that mistake again. Commander Axar stared at the screens in front of him, his eyes burning with anger. He had sent everything he had at Earth, and still, the humans fought back. Something had changed, and he didn't understand it. He couldn't. But he would find a way to crush them, once and for all. With a snarl, Xar issued his orders. This time, the Xerx would stop humanity's resistance before it could grow any stronger. The war was far from over, and the final showdown was coming. The war had changed. What began as a desperate resistance had now blossomed into a full-scale rebellion. The humans weren't just fighting to survive anymore. They were fighting to win. The Xerx, the alien race that had once dominated the planet with their superior technology, were no longer the unstoppable force they had been. Humans had found their strength, their will to fight. And they had found something more, a power that the Xerx had never expected. Resistance groups sprang up across the globe. From the bustling streets of New York to the silent deserts of Africa, people from all walks of life, teachers, farmers, scientists, and factory workers came together. They were no longer ordinary humans. They had become warriors, each of them powered by abilities no one had ever dreamed possible. With super strength, telepathy, and the power to manipulate energy, they launched bold attacks on the alien invaders. The Xerx, once so confident in their power, were now on the defensive. The humans, despite their small numbers compared to the Xerx, were fighting back with skill and ingenuity. They knew the land, they knew their people, and above all, they had something the Xerx could never understand. Heart.as. More and more humans unlocked their hidden potential. Their unity grew stronger. Governments that had once been divided, torn by political struggles, now set aside their differences. They knew their survival depended on working together. In secret bunkers, the leaders of Earth's nations met, sharing plans, exchanging intelligence, and coordinating efforts. The Xerx might have had the advantage in firepower, but humanity had something else: their unwavering determination. Dr. Emily Carter, who had unlocked the power of the artifact, watched with pride as her fellow humans took to the battlefield. She had been the spark that ignited this revolution, but she knew it was the people of Earth who would finish the job. With every victory, their strength grew. The Xerx were being pushed back, city by city, base by base. Then came the Turning Point.ina daring operation. A group of rebels, led by an experienced military officer, infiltrated a Xerx warship. The ship was massive, heavily guarded, and brimming with advanced alien weapons. It was one of the largest warships the Xerx had ever created. But the humans were determined. They snuck past defenses, using their new abilities to outmaneuver the alien soldiers. The final blow came when the rebels planted explosives in the heart of the ship, triggering a chain reaction that destroyed it in a massive explosion. The Xerx were stunned. They had never expected such an attack. They had thought humanity weak, easily crushed, but the humans had proven them wrong. The destruction of their warship was a massive blow to their forces. The Xerx began to panic. Their control over Earth was slipping away, and they could no longer count on their technology to guarantee victory. The rebellion had gained momentum, and every day, more humans joined the fight. Commander Axar, the ruthless leader of the Xerx, watched the reports with increasing frustration. He had underestimated Earth's resilience, and now his forces were falling apart. But Sar was not one to give up. He had one final card to play. Behind closed doors, he activated the last weapon he had been saving. It was a secret project, one that even many of his own officers did not know about. Deep within the Xerx mothership, a monstrous creature, an ancient and terrifying being, was unleashed. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, older and stronger than anything the Xerex had ever encountered. It had been kept hidden for this exact moment, the moment when humanity's rebellion reached its peak. The creature, a towering, grotesque being with scales like steel and eyes that burned like fire, was released from its containment chamber. It roared, shaking the very walls of the mothership. Its purpose was clear: destroy the humans, end the rebellion, and ensure the Xerex dominance over Earth. It was a weapon unlike any other alive, sentient, and ruthless. The creature unleashed its fury. The humans felt the weight of the new threat. The joy of their recent victories began to fade. They had thought they were on the brink of winning. But this new enemy was unlike anything they had ever faced. The rebellion was about to face its toughest test yet. In underground bunkers, the leaders of the human resistance gathered. They had to come up with a plan, and quickly. The Xerex had thrown everything they had at Earth, but they had never faced the humans united in this way before. Dr. Carter and the military leaders knew they had one last shot to defeat the Xerex once and for all. But first, they had to deal with this new monstrous threat. The artifact, which had given humanity its power, was still the key. They had unlocked only a fraction of its potential, and now they would need to tap into that power like never before. The humans prepared for their most dangerous mission yet. Commander XR stood in the control room of the mothership, watching the chaos unfold below. He had one final weapon to use, and it would be enough to crush humanity once and for all. The final battle was about to begin, and the Xerex were determined to ensure that Earth would never be free. This outline continues to build on the tension and momentum, keeping things exciting and fast-paced while hinting at the ever-growing stakes. The readers are left eagerly anticipating the next chapter of the fight for Earth. Let me know if you need any adjustments. The fight for Earth had reached its peak. Humanity, having come so far, now stood at the edge of their final battle. The Xerex, the alien invaders who had once seemed so invincible, had brought their greatest weapon to bear: a monstrous creature, a living weapon stronger and more terrifying than any Xerex soldier. It had been hidden away for just this moment, and now it was loose, rampaging across the battlefield with a fury that struck fear into the hearts of everyone. Dr. Emily Carter and the human resistance had faced many challenges, but this was something entirely different. This creature wasn't just another alien soldier. It was an ancient being, a weapon of unimaginable power that seemed unstoppable. The Xerex had placed their faith in it, hoping it would be the thing to crush humanity once and for all. The creature towered over the battlefield, its scales like unbreakable armor, its claws capable of slicing through tanks and buildings alike. Its eyes burned with an unnatural fire, and every roar it let out sent shockwaves through the air. The Xerex had unleashed the ultimate terror, and the humans had no choice but to fight back. As the battle raged on, humans did everything they could to fight the creature. They used their newfound powers: superhuman strength, telekinesis, and even the ability to manipulate energy to try and bring the creature down. But each attack was met with brutal resistance. The creature's strength seemed endless. Every time the humans thought they had a breakthrough, the creature would recover, its fury growing even stronger. But Dr. Carter was not about to give up. She had unlocked the artifact's power, and now, in the heat of battle, she realized something that would change everything. The artifact didn't just give them strength, it had the power to channel the very energy of Earth itself. It was more than just a key to unlocking human potential. It was a link to the planet's life force, a force that had always been there, but had never been tapped into. The creature charged towards them, tearing through the human ranks with terrifying force. Dr. Carter gathered her team. They knew what they had to do. The artifact had to be used to its full potential. If they could harness the Earth's energy, they could strike the creature down once and for all. Working quickly and with precision, Dr. Carter and her team focused all of their energy on the artifact. They channeled their combined powers through it, pushing their limits, drawing the planet's energy into the artifact. The ground beneath them began to shake as the Earth's very core responded. A brilliant, blinding light erupted from the artifact, sending a wave of pure, raw energy crashing towards the creature. The creature howled in pain as the energy struck it. For the first time, it faltered, its monstrous form convulsing under the immense power. The energy coursed through its body, tearing at its insides. With a final, deafening roar, the creature collapsed to the ground, lifeless. The battlefield fell silent. For a moment, no one moved. The humans stood in stunned disbelief, staring at the creature's fallen body. Had they really done it? Had they really defeated the Xerx's ultimate weapon? But there was no time to celebrate. The Xerx mothership, hovering high above, had been watching. And with the creature defeated, it was time for the humans to face their next challenge. Dr. Carter's heart raced. She knew the Xerx wouldn't give up so easily. The mothership was still there, still full of their most dangerous forces. But they had won a crucial victory. The Xerx, seeing their ultimate weapon destroyed, began to panic. They knew they were losing control of Earth. The humans, emboldened by their success, launched one final attack. With the energy from the artifact still fresh in their veins, they charged towards the mothership. The ground shook as the human forces clashed with the remaining Xerx soldiers, but the humans' victory was inevitable. The Xerx were on the defensive now, scrambling to regroup. But their command structure had broken, and the humans pressed on, pushing through to the heart of the mothership. In a final daring assault, Dr. Carter and her team infiltrated the mothership, reaching the control room. With the Xerx forces in disarray, they planted explosives that would destroy the mothership from within. With the countdown ticking, they made their escape, the massive ship erupting behind them in a brilliant explosion. The remaining Xerx forces scattered across the galaxy, their power broken. Earth was free. Humanity had won. But as the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the humans knew they had not just fought with their strength. They had fought with their hearts, their minds, and their ingenuity. The Xerx had underestimated them. They had thought humanity was weak, but the humans had proved them wrong. They had risen up not because they were the strongest or the most powerful, but because they were united, and because they never gave up. The Earth was free, but the artifact still held its mysteries. What else could it unlock? Humanity had proven that they could fight back. But what other challenges lay ahead? What other dangers or possibilities might they face? The Xerx had mocked them, but now the universe knew, never underestimate humanity. The journey was far from over. This was just the beginning. This conclusion brings everything full circle, while leaving the possibility for future adventures and challenges. The tone is hopeful, yet mysterious, suggesting that while Earth may be free, the artifact's power could lead to even more exciting and dangerous discoveries.